Hey everyone, Techl G here, representing those who are 40 and up without the tech. And man, it's an exciting time if you are a fan of handheld PCs. There's a lot of new competitors coming out, and there's some updates to ones that are already released. So I'm going to be making some videos of these handheld PCs that are going to be coming out soon, that is going to be competing for your dollar. And this particular video is going to focus on the OneXPlayer Mini. Now, the OneXPlayer Mini is pretty much or sort of kind of like an update to the already released OneXPlayer. The OneXPlayer is very interesting. It's a nice handheld PC device that looks reminiscent to a Nintendo Switch, but it doesn't have detachable controllers. But it stands at 1.7 pounds, and you can either get an Intel or AMD processor in it, and it plays AAA PC games pretty well, and it has a turbo button to increase the TDP for more demanding games. The battery life is not the greatest, of course, because you're rendering graphics for AAA games, so you can look at an hour to 2 hours if you're running it at high TDP. But if you can actually lower the TDP, which you can with certain programs, you can have it run for hours. I mean, it all depends on the tasks that you do on it. So if you're running low graphically intense PC games, or if you're just browsing the web or watching videos, things like that, then it can run for hours. I would say average is like 4 to 5 hours for small tasks. But like I said, for AAA gaming, then you're looking at 1 to 2 hours. But the device itself is pretty popular. One Netbook, which is the company that developed it, they've made a pretty substantial amount of money crowd funding for it. So because it has a big success or huge success, they decided to make a smaller version of the OneXPlayer called the OneXPlayer Mini, and pre-orders will be coming out for it very, very soon. As a matter of fact, one Netbook has made a video and posted it on YouTube for the OneXPlayer Mini launch conference, and that's basically because the CES in Las Vegas is launching. They're talking about a whole lot of new cool tech, and so all these other companies that couldn't get to Las Vegas are doing their own launch conferences on their devices, and so they put this, like I said, on YouTube. And like I said, it talks about the OneXPlayer, so you can check out the video. I can leave the link of it in my comment section so you can get the specs and other information on it. But they've also posted a pre-sale time for it, which is awesome. So if you are interested in the OneXPlayer Mini, the pre-sale of it is going to be on January 13th. At first, the date was January 15th, but it's going to be 2 days earlier. So January 13th, and that day is going to be on a Thursday. So next week, Thursday, at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'll be for me on East Coast. That'll be 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can pre-order the OneXPlayer Mini, probably through a crowdfunding link that they will provide. And it should be shipped. That's what transport means. Should be shipped on January 20th or later. It all depends on when you order it. So if you are one of the first to order it on this date right here, when it launches for pre-order, then most likely it's gonna transport or ship on the 20th, and you should get it hopefully within 2 weeks or so. So I'm believing that it's gonna ship from China. So as far as full specs for the OneXPlayer Mini, it's basically going to be very similar to the newest iteration of the OneXPlayer that's already out. Now, there's a number of OneXPlayers that are out there. The form factor is still the same, but again, you can either get an Intel or AMD processor in it. And with the Intel processors, you can get either 1135. And these are 11th gen processors. 1135, 1165, If you were lucky enough at the beginning when it was released in 1185 G7 or the OneXPlayer 1S. And they've added the 1S because it just basically says that they've updated the processor to an 1195 G7. And again, those are all Intel processors. Again, you can also get the OneXPlayer with an AMD processor. I believe you can get the 4800 or in its newest iteration, the 5800. And I believe the letter U is at the end, so 4800U or 5800U. Like I said, those are the only ones that I know about. There might be another one, I'm not sure, have to look it up. But again, Intel or AMD processors you can get with it. And with the OneXPlayer Mini, this is going to be shipped with Intel's 1195 G7 processor. So I'm using Lily Puting's article on the OneXPlayer Mini to give you some specs on it, because he did the best job, in my opinion, out of everyone else on the net as far as giving you specs. So with the OneXPlayer Mini, let me see if I can make this bigger. Sure can. Thank you, touchscreen. It's going to have a 7-inch screen, and it's going to weigh 589 grams. And that is equivalent to, and I already did the math, 1.4 pounds, I believe. Correction, it's going to be 1.3 pounds. I said 1.4, 1.3. And that's going to be pretty cool to hold in your hands. So you can hold it in your hands a lot longer than the 1.7 pound OneXPlayer. It's not that much of a difference, but still, the lighter it is, the longer you can hold it. Here's a couple of pictures of the OneXPlayer Mini next to the actual OneXPlayer that's already out, next to a Nintendo Switch, which is the lightest of your handheld game devices. However, this does not play PC games, unless there's an app, the Parsec app, that'll allow you to play PC games remotely from a computer that you have at home that has the program on it, which is kind of cool. But anyway, OneXPlayer is not that much smaller than the actual, the Mini is not that much smaller than the actual player, but they're both larger than the Nintendo Switch, and heavier, of course. So here's the Switch right here. Like I said, you have detachable controls right here, which makes the screen, which makes this even smaller than these two right here. And they're still cool though, because they play PC games and emulators and other things like that. With the Nintendo Switch, most likely possible, but you have to jailbreak it in order to do that. But these out the box can play PC games, emulator games, even Nintendo Switch games, because it's an emulator for Nintendo Switch that is for the PC, which makes this a more well-rounded device. And in this picture, you see the thickness of them all. And of course, with the bigger handheld device, the slightly thicker it is, and longer. So this one's the Mini, looks cool. This one is the actual OneXPlayer. I like this better because you have two fan grills right here that'll blow hot air out. That'll allow you to play it probably a lot, maybe longer than the actual OneXPlayer. I don't know where the fan grills are on this one. Not a lot of pictures on it, but we'll see those pictures of it when it's released and people get their hands on it. And here is the thinness, the delicious thinness of the Nintendo Switch. So as far as some more specs, the OneXPlayer Mini is going to have a 1920 by 1200 pixel screen, so 1080p. Like I said, the i7 1195 G7 processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes, up to 2 terabytes of storage, and it's PCIe 3.0 and not 4.0. It'll have two, USB Type-C ports. Very cool. A USB Type-A port, so one extra USB-C port. Very cool. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, front-facing speakers. A smaller battery, of course, than the regular XPlayer. The XPlayer, the first one, the bigger one, has, I believe, a 15,000 plus milliamp battery. So this is going to have 10,455 milliamps and will support Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.0 out the box. And that's pretty much my video on the OneXPlayer Mini. So I've already given you the pre-sale time, probably just go on One Netbook's website, or hey, I guess they provided a link right here so that you can pre-order the OneXPlayer Mini. And again, it's going to be shipped on the 20th or probably later, depending on when you order it. So let me know, are you going to get the OneXPlayer Mini? I mean, it is compelling to get, especially if you're not a fan of the size of the actual OneXPlayer. It is pretty big, it is pretty hefty. So this may appeal to those who like the OneXPlayer but want it in a smaller form factor. So let me know, are you going to get the OneXPlayer Mini? Let me know in the comments. If you already have the OneXPlayer, let me know if you're going to upgrade to the Mini. And that's kind of funny to say upgrade because it's a smaller device. Let me know if you're going to get the Mini or if you're going to keep the OneXPlayer or keep the device that you already have. Let me know in the comments section of your thoughts of the OneXPlayer Mini. So that's it in my video. If you liked the video, definitely leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Tell your friends about my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video.